Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a 2022 Tesla Model 3, and today I'm gonna review it for you guys. I am thrilled to be able to review this car for you because Teslas in general have by far been the most requested vehicles for me to review on this channel. And so now I'm able to tell you guys about the features and how it drives. When the Model 3 was first revealed, it took the world by storm and has continued to till this day. It's the #1 best-selling electric vehicle in the world. The second one, curiously, is the Wuling Hongguang Mini EV, a small subcompact Chinese EV, and I think that's so fascinating. It's this quirky little thing, and maybe someday I'll get a chance to review that. That would be a neat video. But today we're talking about the Model 3. Now, as I begin to talk about this car, it's funny because I've reviewed a lot of normal traditional cars, and any Tesla model is far from a normal traditional car. There's a big learning curve with this, even on the front end. You're not gonna have a grille up here because it doesn't need one. Thankfully, one of the normal things it does have are headlights. They are fully LED with LED daytime running lights and turn signals incorporated right here. And then you'll have LED fog lights down here with some little markers. And there is parking sensors dotted along the front as well. Up here, there is of course no engine where you'll have your Tesla badge. This is a front trunk. When you open it up, you can see there's a good deal of storage up here. In fact, the Model 3 as a whole has quite a lot of storage cubbies, which is good if you'd like to go on a road trip because this is the long range model, which has an estimated range of about 334 miles. That's most average cars' gas tanks, and that's up from the base model's 267 miles of range. The wheels on the Model 3 look unequivocally dorky. Definitely wouldn't be my first choice on a car, but they serve a purpose. These hubcaps help with aerodynamics, and that helps with the range of the Model 3. So there's a reason behind it. Moving further down the profile of the Model 3, traditionally we would see a blind spot camera or a 360-degree camera incorporated into the mirror, but not here on the Model 3. No, it's actually right here. I think that's a great position for a blind spot monitoring system, and it gives you probably the best angle. And then if we move up here, the other camera on the profile is right here on the B pillar. Very cleverly integrated right there. Now, this is my first major disappointment with the car. No, it's not this camera system. It's actually this passenger side B pillar. When the Model 3 first came out, there was rumors of shoddy build quality, and by 2022, you would hope that the assembly line would kind of have that worked out. This is a nearly new car. My friend Patrick just bought it, and we only noticed today, after I kind of did this thorough walk around, that here on the B pillar, there's chipping underneath the gloss plastic, and this part of the B pillar is like bent and kind of crunched together. Now you might say, well, oh no, Isaac, that's like an aesthetic thing. But if we step over here to the B pillar on the other side, you don't get anything like that. It's just piano black all the way up. This is how it was designed to look. This is what they really meant it to be. All right, so little mistake on my part. Apparently, the plastic cover was still on this side of the door, so that peeling was just the plastic cover. So that is not a point against Tesla. Tesla gets the win here. Let's talk about the door handles really quick. Now, these door handles are pretty unique. They're flush with the body of the car. That's a neat feature off the jump, off the diving board, whatever the saying is. Off the bat, it is pretty cool that they're flushed in there. What you have to do is you press in that and then pull this little latch. That is going to open the door. Definitely unique. The owner, Patrick, tells me he has to basically give a tutorial to every person that gets in his car because they don't know what to do. They're like pressing this or doing this. And so press in on the back, pull the latch forward, and that gives you access into the Model 3. Let's continue around the back really briefly. You'll get dual motor and your taillights back here, and a pretty big cargo area. I'll talk about this in a second. But to charge this car, another hidden feature is that you can just tap this right here, and that's going to open up your charge port door, and it's like incorporated into the little side marker light. Very, very clever. It continues the very minimalistic approach this car has, and boy oh boy will you see that in the interior. But if you want to close that, you can just close it up. That is also something you can do from the app that this includes, and the interior also has a button to open that charge port door, but it's nice that you can just tap it and it senses that you are right there, so you don't have to go in or anything if you forget to do that. So whoop, close. Let's talk about the trunk space really quick. Very, very spacious back here. I mean, you could fit a whole body back here. Ugh. Yeah, look at this. I could fit all the way back here, and you could close me in and no one would be the wiser. I hope I don't actually accidentally hit anything, because I am the only one out here reviewing this. Wouldn't that be a scary thing? I'm trapped in the trunk of a Tesla. Oh, there is a latch. If we look up here, there is a latch. So if I did accidentally lock myself in here like a buffoon, I could get myself out. At first glance, I think the number one thing that people would notice here on the interior is that there's not really a lot of physical buttons, apart from the door button right here to open it, and your window controls. You have some steering wheel controls and your basic turn signal and windshield wiper stock, and a slightly unique drive mode selector. I've seen similar stuff on other vehicles. Pretty much everything is relegated to this screen, and oh my word, this screen's got pretty much everything. Before we move fully into the screen, there are two wireless chargers directly below it, and then down here you'll have cup holders and a massive center storage area. And then opening up the center console, there is another storage area down here with a 12 volt. That does not connect through to the other one, but it is also a very large spot. Let's talk about the trunk really quick that we just opened. You can tap that. That's going to open it and give you an animation on the screen that the trunk is open. You can tap close and the animation will continue as it actually does it. Now if I pop the frunk, or the front trunk, that is going to need me to manually close it. So I'm not going to do that. You'll see there is maps and navigation right here, and it is so responsive, just as responsive as a phone, maybe even more so. This particular car does not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto because you don't need it. This car has more features, I think, than that system does, and it's just amazing. Most people have talked about this though, so I'm just going to highlight some of the big things. For one, if we click the little car down here at the bottom of the screen, you can basically control everything from in here. And you might say, oh yeah, like I can do my radio and stuff. Yeah, but also you can control opening the charge port from in here, as I mentioned. You can do different driving modes, steering modes, stopping modes. You can look at your navigation, your trip planner, everything from just in this editing screen. Lights, so I control the headlights from here. There's no stock for the headlights. As a quick aside, this is a phone mount that my friend installed, and this is an air freshener. I'm sure someone will ask about that. Those are both aftermarket. But really, you control all of the car's functionality from in here. Even the locks, you can see there's all these different keys that the owner has, and he has them assigned and stuff. So it's just so much, and that's not even the beginning. If we click this small camera down here, you can see the different camera angles, your backup camera and your two side cameras. those also work while you're driving, which is amazing. And they work, the pillar cameras that I mentioned previously work as identifiers for cars, traffic cones, people, bikes, and they all come up on the screen right here while you're driving, which gives you just amazing visibility around you, because you might miss something that the car picks up in a blind spot, and that's incredibly helpful. There's also a camera up here. A lot of cars have cameras up here now that aids in that system as well. You'll have Spotify in here. Oh my word. You can start a trip, and what's really cool is you can look at the consumption through the trip. And one of the things I wanted to highlight, let me see if I can pull it up here. You can just see there's so much. There's dash cam functionality. It'll use that upper camera as a dash cam. So if an accident happens, it'll snap record, and you can just go to that and view the footage. There's an arcade mode. Many people have talked about the toy box. Look, it made a fart noise, and it'll do it. It does it in the back too. And you can also set your horn to be a fart noise. I mean, it is ridiculous. There's so many things. There is a $10 unlimited data plan available for the car. That's a monthly subscription, I should say, for $10. It's not just a one-time payment. But that gives you Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and more. If we click YouTube here, I mean, you can even go into YouTube and watch Alpha Shark pictures while you're in park. So what I can do as I'm reviewing this Tesla, I'll just go in and watch my own videos. This really dates when I'm filming this, because you'll see that I am not going to upload this video till way later. But you know, I can go in and I'm so narcissistic that I can watch myself in my Tesla. If I wanted to. It's not my Tesla, but you know, if you had a YouTube channel and a Tesla, you could do that. Here's a really cool feature. So if you hold this button down on the steering wheel, it'll pull up a little microphone and we can plan a navigation trip. But there's even more to it than that. Plan a trip to California. So what you can do is tap that, and obviously this is really far away. So what it's doing is finding superchargers. It's going to tell us at what point we're going to need superchargers, so it'll plan the route in concordance with the battery we have left and when we'll need to stop across the country. And it'll just say there's a supercharger here and it's freed up, which is another great detail. So it's not going to send you to a supercharging station where all of them are taken up, because it doesn't want you to have to wait. It's going to look for an available one that's open. What an insanely just solid detail. This is something that Tesla has as a leg up on the car competition in this electric segment, because other vehicles can't use the superchargers and the infrastructure for electric vehicles really isn't there yet. And so Tesla still is the king in this department. Talking about the shifter briefly, what you want to do is have your foot on the brake, and then you can tap down to go into drive. It's going to say it's in hold right now. So what I'm going to do is let off, and we're going to start driving here. It'll tell you 1 mile per hour, you know, 2 miles, and then I'm going to stop it, and I think it's going to go right back into hold here. So it's going to hold it. So I have my foot off the brake. Car is not moving. It's in electronic hold mode. Let's say I wanted to throw it into reverse. I would just pop this up, and it's going to pull up my cameras, and it's going to fold my mirrors down so I have a better view of the ground below me as I'm backing up. And then if I'd like to throw it into park, I just tap that. I'm in park. The steering wheel goes back to give me easier access to get out, and I'm all set. The rear seats back here provide good legroom and a solid amount of headroom, and this allows me to talk about the giant glass ceiling that this has. It's not a moonroof or a sunroof that opens up, but it is fixed rather. There is a beam in between it right here for your dome lights, though, it just is so amazing to see that it just continues and continues and continues all the way back. On other models of Tesla, this is true for the front windshield. It just kind of continues up. But on the Model 3, there is a sort of A-pillar bar right there. Doesn't take away from the amazing view that you have back here. All right. Driving the Tesla Model 3. I'm gonna floor it here. We have an open spot. Oh my word! This is Patrick, by the way. He is the owner of the Model 3. I will tell you, if you've never driven a performance electric car, every time I've done it, it is just the most incredible thing. And Patrick, you've owned this car now. Is it still fun?
Yeah, it never gets old.
It never gets old, yeah.
It never will get old.
It's so, and all of the cars that I've reviewed have this in some way, but I think this Tesla might be the fastest that I've reviewed. It's just incredible what this technology can see. And we passed a guy just out walking, and I was like, oh my gosh, that picked up that was a guy walking. It was incredible. And it's just so wild to see how far technology has come. And I'm so impressed that Tesla, as a company that's not rooted in a major car brand, I'm gonna floor it again. Whoa! Oh my word, this is so much fun. Tesla, this company that's not rooted in a major car brand, has enough technology to incorporate all of this, and it works really well. Is it perfect? No, but it works incredibly well. That is going to conclude my thoughts on this Tesla Model 3. Again, I'm sure I didn't get to everything. I feel a little out of my element reviewing a Tesla. I've reviewed cars for probably 3 years now, but it almost feels like I'm reviewing a phone when I'm doing a car review like this. I'd love to know what you think, though, in the comment section below. I'm also a Christian, so if you have any prayer requests, you can leave those down there too. And I like to close on a weekly Bible verse. This week's is Proverbs 18:1 and 2. I'll read 1 and 2. Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. I really like reading from Proverbs from these videos because even if you aren't Christian or have a belief in God, these are still principles that we can apply in our day-to-day lives. And so I hope that this does point you towards God. I think it's interesting. I'm not sure how well this video will do. It's either going to be a smash hit or it's kind of going to go unseen because everybody's done a video on a Tesla. But I thought it's still pertinent to pick a verse that might be applicable to a wide variety of people. Who knows who's going to see this? Maybe one person needs to see this and they're going to turn towards Jesus and they've kind of felt him calling, but they weren't sure, and now they're watching a Tesla video and the guy in the Tesla video is talking about Jesus and they think it might be a sign. So I don't know how the Lord works fully. His ways are above mine, but I do know that he's used me to help convey the gospel. And so while I'm not specifically conveying the message of Jesus Christ in this video and the death and his resurrection and what that means, I would encourage you to go towards the Bible for that, or look at some of my other videos where I talk about that towards the end. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Take care.